This story starts in mid to late Dragon Ball, around the time of when the Demon King Piccolo arc first begins. A magician, or well, a wizard, Babidi, has made his way down to Earth to revive Majin Buu. He doesn't really care about power levels and just figures the sooner he gets to Majin Buu on Earth, the better. After making his way to Earth, he would find the strongest being on the planet, that being the newly revived Demon King Piccolo. Considering Babidi had taken control over Deborah, I think he would easily take control over Demon King Piccolo, possibly even restoring his youth. Babidi would now have a way of collecting energy, and it's even better because Piccolo can create minions for him. Kami would see this take place, and of course, Kid Goku would be brought to the lookout with Tien. Obviously, Krillin is dead, and Yamcha as well. Yeah, let's not talk about Yamcha. In any case, Goku and Tien are both warned of the immense power of Babidi, and Demon King Piccolo begins terrorizing the Earth to collect energy for his master, though it's nowhere near enough. Kami knows the Earth is doomed and so makes Goku and Tien go in the time chamber. Now, the real question is, how long would these two spend in the time chamber and would they even be able to cope? Well, because this is a fanfiction what if, we're going to take a few liberties here and say yes, they would be able to cope, and I think Kami would force them to spend a good 3 years in there. Remember, this is Babidi, who's supercharged Demon King Piccolo. Kami would definitely be able to sense how powerful Babidi is. Goku would exit the time chamber as an adult, much stronger, ready to team up with Tien to take on the fierce King Piccolo. He has heard so much about him from Roshi. Finding Roshi, the three of them would all team up to fight Piccolo. The battle would be a fierce one, with Majin Demon King Piccolo proving to be much more powerful than the both of them expected, Babidi watching from the sidelines. Goku and Tien would battle it out, teaming up because they had spent about 3 years learning each other's moves, coordinating. Roshi would still attempt the Mafuba, though he would sadly be stopped by Babidi, resulting in his death. Majin Demon King Piccolo would laugh. Ha 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 ha! It's futile. Majin Buu will soon be revived. He rushed at Tien Shinhan, who gave Goku one final look, smiling at him. King Piccolo obliterated Tien Shinhan into smithereens. With that, King Piccolo would rush at Goku, going in for the kill. But he would suddenly be frozen in place. Goku was confused as Piccolo couldn't move. And that was done by none other than the Supreme Kai, who, if you remember, was roughly about as strong as Frieza, I believe, which means, yeah, Majin Demon King Piccolo, I think Supreme Kai would definitely be more powerful than him. He would blast King Piccolo away, and then Goku would be teleported to the realm of the Supreme Kai. With this occurring, Earth would be left defenseless. Piccolo would collect the Dragon Balls, and he knew he needed to get stronger if he was going to be able to face that Supreme Kai. Babidi began to consider different enemies he could take on to grow in energy, remembering Frieza and his father, though he would be unsure if Piccolo could actually challenge them. Demon King Piccolo would summon Shenron to unlock his fullest potential. With that, he would destroy Shenron. Babidi had already made him young, which means that wasn't even a wish he had to waste. That meant nobody would be resurrected. Meanwhile, in the realm of the Kais, Goku, distraught at the loss of his friends, would begin intensive training among the Supreme Kai. The Supreme Kai would tell Goku all about Majin Buu, and he would tell him that he had seen Goku fighting valiantly against the threat of Babidi. It was very interesting. The Supreme Kai had taken an interest in Goku as he was one of the final survivors of the Saiyan race. Now, obviously, there is a bit of a suspension of disbelief here. Would the Supreme Kai be interested in a random Saiyan from Earth? Well, I think, considering Goku fought back against Babidi and the Margins, I think it's not that unbelievable. Goku would begin intensive training to wield the Z-Sword. Interestingly, the Supreme Kai would most likely tell Goku about his Saiyan origins, with King Piccolo ruling over the Earth. Eventually, the hero of Earth, Yamcha, would try to stop him, but it would be futile. Goku continuously would train in the realm of the Supreme Kai, attempting to wield the Z-Sword multiple times. Eventually, one fateful day, after the frustrations of losing had built up within Goku, and he had seen Demon King Piccolo destroying another city, he would muster up enough strength to transform into the legendary form of Super Saiyan. This had been after many months of training with the Supreme Kai, who would be shocked, but he would instantly know what this is. Goku being able to just barely make the Z-Sword budge. With Goku going back down to Earth, while he hadn't been able to remove the Z-Sword, he had unlocked Super Saiyan. I believe Goku would quickly go down to the hyperbolic time chamber. in order to train for 2 years and gain some kind of mastery over this form. Goku would exit the time chamber ready to face off against Piccolo. Descending down upon the earth, Goku would look sadly and angrily over the destroyed buildings. Kami, yes, had reconstructed Shenron, but there would be no point if Piccolo just destroyed it again. Goku would find King Piccolo's palace with Babidi being hidden underneath. After years of waiting, he had nearly gathered enough energy to open the egg, to finally release Majin Buu. The Supreme Kai would come with Goku, who would easily dispatch of Babidi's minions, then arriving at the final boss, Majin Demon King Piccolo. With his potential unleashed, the two would battle, Goku being in base form, both seemingly relatively equal, until Goku would show off his new power. He would use Super Saiyan. He would use all the techniques that he learned from the Supreme Kai, freezing Piccolo, who would stand no chance. Goku would land multiple kicks and punches, slamming King Piccolo in the face, as well as other attacks to defeat the tyrannical king and put an end to his tyranny. However, even Piccolo hadn't shown Goku everything he was made of. Revealing his fully unleashed potential, his skin turned to orange, flames burst around him, and we would see Orange Majin Demon King Piccolo, the same form we saw Piccolo use in the Dragon Ball superhero movie. Goku in Super Saiyan would power up to his full power as the two would collide in an incredible battle. They would erupt into kicks and punches using blasts. The Supreme Kai searched for Babidi while this battle went on. The flaming aura of Piccolo would clash with Goku's golden aura as a hate-filled adult Goku would swear he would end Piccolo for the terror he had caused on Earth. Piccolo laughing, unbeknownst to them, something much more terrifying was coming. Majin Buu. Enough energy had been gathered, and so Buu had been released. Both Goku and Piccolo would stop fighting after realizing this, both feeling the incredible power coming from him. The Supreme Kai had realized it was all over. They had lost. Buu was revived, and all was lost. With this, Piccolo would, very similar to the Bora, be the first victim Babidi would decide to dispose of. Now, I know we're a bit late into the video, but this is what if Majin Buu arrived early. Now, this is an actual two-parter what if, but I'm not sure if I want to make the second part. I don't want to spoil the second part, so watch to the end of the video what the second part is actually going to be. But this actual what if is what if Majin Buu arrived early. Hi guys, I'm Ablaze Monkey, and as you know, I've been making Dragon Ball What Ifs for a while, but I took a short break. I thought I'd return with something a little different. This is a really cool idea in my opinion, and I've had it for a while, and I thought, hey, this could work really well if done correctly. The main concept being, well, what if Babidi came to Earth much earlier, like basically as early as possible as we could in the story? And what if that led to a chain of events that were very different to what we saw in the original? Now, before we do jump back into the story, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe and notifications on. If this video gets 100 likes, I will drop the second and I guess final part technically, because this is a two-parter. It really does help me out, and it helps me also produce more videos. But with that said, let's get straight back into the video. As I had said, Majin Buu had been released. Goku would be shocked at the power of Majin Buu as he would watch Demon King Piccolo attempt to battle Fat Buu. Surprisingly, Goku realized that although yes, Buu was much stronger than them, it wasn't by that much of a big difference. Remember guys, Buu had much less energy to be revived in this what if, which means for now he would be significantly weaker. Babidi would begin to grow worried as Goku would temporarily decide to team up with Piccolo against Buu. This is a very Goku thing to do, and even if Piccolo had, been destroying the Earth for like the last 2 years, he would definitely recognize that, yeah, he's not going to be able to beat Buu alone, and if Piccolo's fighting Majin Buu now, yeah, he's going to take advantage of that. Remember, this is a fanfiction what if. In any case, Super Saiyan Goku and Orange Demon King Piccolo would begin to overwhelm the very weakened Majin Buu. With this, the Supreme Kai would also try to assist wherever he could with his magic. Oh yeah, side note, but Majin Buu kills Kibito, so I guess rip Kibito. Babidi begins to panic as he realizes Majin Buu isn't as strong as he had intended him to be, and that's majorly because of Goku and Piccolo. He begins to scream at Buu, and this of course gets Buu angry because he obviously doesn't get any candy, and now he's got this wizard screaming at him. Buu, make you chocolate! This leads to Majin Buu actually killing Babidi, so Babidi just gets one-shotted by a blast, And at this point, Goku and Piccolo are basically fucked because Buu is now angry, and this is a fanfiction what if, so I'm going to try something a bit interesting. Now, Piccolo would begin to fight Fat Buu, who would immediately try to absorb Goku, but just before Goku were absorbed, the Supreme Kai would put up a barrier around him, preventing him from being absorbed. Once inside of Majin Buu, Goku would slowly work his way through his body, similar to how Vegeta and Goku did in the original. Now remember guys, Goku is significantly weaker than he was in the main story, and he doesn't have Vegeta to back him up. However, he does have Majin King Piccolo, who is still battling Buu on the outside. Well, more like trying to survive, not battling. Now Majin Buu is tormenting him. Goku eventually, after a lot of time, finds the evil Majin Buu locked deep away inside of Fat Buu, and he pulls him out of Majin Buu. This causes Majin Buu to revert to a kind of calmed state, but this evil Buu is a little different to the evil Buu we know. Evil Buu begins to transform into the original state of Majin Buu, Kid Buu, who appears. So essentially, just as Goku and Vegeta pulled out Majin Buu in the original, and then we got Kid Buu, what we're getting now is kind of the same thing, but instead of it being directly from Super Buu, we're doing it with Fat Majin Buu, just regular Majin Buu, I guess you could call him. This means that we've now got Evil Buu and Good Buu, but Evil Buu is not Evil Buu, he's Kid Buu, if that makes sense. I don't know why I made that so complicated, it's really not that complicated. In any case, Goku appears still in his Super Saiyan state and rushes at Kid Buu, with Demon King Piccolo furious that Goku did in fact not defeat the monster, but somehow made two of them. Interestingly though, they are helped by Fat Buu and they begin to fight him. Battling with Kid Buu, they quickly realize that Kid Buu is on another level. He's even stronger than Fat Buu. Fat Buu is still pretty powerful, but yeah, Kid Buu, nah. The Supreme Kai grabs Goku and actually Demon King Piccolo and teleports them to the lookout. Similar to the original, unfortunately, Kid Buu destroys the Earth. Kami, who had all the Dragon Balls, is also teleported to the realm of the Supreme Kai. Once Goku finds out what has happened, he is enraged and briefly, I say this cautiously, briefly flares up into Super Saiyan 2. He powers up, with his power becoming so great that even the Supreme Kai can sense it. Goku powers up, his Super Saiyan form bursting. King Piccolo sees this and acknowledges that Goku has surpassed him in strength. Yet it still may not be enough to take on the little monster. Fat Buu continues to fight Kid Buu in space after having destroyed the Earth, and Goku tells Kami to summon Shenron, informing him that they must revive some of his allies. In the other world, Tien has been allowed to keep his body, and he made his way to King Kai's place, achieving the KAIOKEN. With the Dragon Balls, Goku would revive and bring Tien to the Supreme Kai's realm. Now, Tien was nowhere near Goku, who was a Super Saiyan. However, he was able to use the KAIOKEN, which could slightly close the gap, with Demon King Piccolo no longer under the influence of Babidi. Even though he had mostly broken free, I will say Demon King Piccolo has not yet turned to the side of good. For now, Goku and Piccolo just share a common enemy in Kid Buu. After defeating but not killing Fat Buu, he would begin terrorizing the universe. He would search out the strongest battle powers possible, and that would of course lead him to Frieza and King Cold, both of which would try and fight him with their armies, but he would wipe them out. Not even a final form Frieza could compete with a power-hungry Kid Buu. He would wipe out like 90% of Frieza's forces, and that unfortunately includes Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz. Meanwhile, in the realm of the Kai, Goku had been intensely training, would have basically perfected Super Saiyan at this point, and begun pushing the boundaries of his strength, but it was still nowhere near Super Saiyan 2. Goku would continue to train, not able to use the time chamber unfortunately because, well, Kid Buu destroyed it. During this, Demon King Piccolo had decided to go to Namek, and this could be its own thing in entirety, but we're not going to spend that long on it. Essentially, Demon King Piccolo goes to Namek and they would greet him, but you guessed it, they would sense that he was evil. He would tell them about Kid Buu and how they were in grave danger, and after narrowly defeating Nail in like a trial by combat kind of thing, he would get access to the Dragon Balls once more. Now, if Piccolo could turn good, I really don't see why Demon King Piccolo wouldn't, especially if Piccolo is like his reincarnation, or well, I guess not really his reincarnation, but like him on Earth. With that, Piccolo would revive the Earth and its inhabitants, and the way we'll logically explain this is that he thinks he should be able to rule the Earth, not Majin Buu. Now, whilst Tien would train with Goku, they had only one goal, and that was being able to remove the Z Sword. Using the KAIOKEN as much as possible, the sword would begin to budge, and Goku would begin trying to combine the KAIOKEN on Super Saiyan. One day, Goku would grow so frustrated after constantly training that he would briefly power up Super Saiyan 2, and for a split second, he would add the KAIOKEN on top, pulling the sword from its rock. However, after training with the Z Sword for a while, due to it being too heavy and probably Goku not knowing how to properly use it, he would break it. I mean, he broke it in the original. I don't see why he wouldn't break it here, releasing the Elder Kai, who would bring out all of Goku's latent potential. Yeah, I know we're skipping a few steps here, but the Elder Kai, he would take a liking to Goku and he would release his potential. Upon having his potential unlocked, Goku would attract Buu and gain his interest, leading to Kid Buu teleporting into the realm of the Kai. Goku had been preparing for this, and so he and Kid Buu would battle it out, with Goku still being at a large disadvantage. Now, the reason Gohan was so powerful in his mystic form is because Gohan had a lot of potential as a half-breed. Goku is only a regular Saiyan, which means whilst yes, he does have a big potential, it's not going to be as much. He's still able to compete with Kid Buu, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's not going to be like Gohan, who was wiping the floor with Super Buu. Whilst Goku was fighting Kid Buu, Tien had a strategy of his own. He had learnt a technique in the other world, the Spirit Bomb, and he would have begun to practice using it. He devised a plan to use the Spirit Bomb against Buu, collecting energy from everywhere in the universe, as well as Earth. Goku and Buu battled it out, with Goku really not holding anything back. They exchanged kicks, punches, it was a bloody affair. The Supreme Kai tried to help again wherever he could. Really nervous because if Goku lost, that was it. He was the last line of defense. Goku continued to distract Buu, allowing Tien to charge up the Spirit Bomb, which was now big enough to throw at Buu. Tien had charged it up really high up in the air, which means Buu hadn't actually noticed it. He threw the Spirit Bomb with Goku, using the Kai Kai to teleport away. Supreme Kai would probably end up teaching Goku the Kai Kai. However, it had not been as easy as they had thought. King Piccolo arrived with the help of the Kai to see that in fact, Buu had survived. A piece of Buu had just managed to escape. Tired, Goku continued his battle with Buu, really not giving in. It seemed hopeless. Even Mystic Goku, who was, let's be honest, very early on in the story, with all this training, I mean, let's think about this, guys. Like, Super Saiyan 3 Goku struggled against Kid Buu, and he and Buu, you know, this is a weaker Buu, so let's say they're still about the same strength. Goku's still able to keep up. Fat Buu arrives also with the help of the Kai, and so King Piccolo and Fat Buu combined their strength with Goku to finally put an end to this. They beat the shit out of Majin Buu. But Majin Buu, he's not letting up, man. He keeps it going. Piccolo spits out an egg and hugs onto Buu, who screams, with Majin Buu also using a piece of himself to kind of hold the two together. Goku shouts, if only the two of them could come back stronger, he would love to fight them. With that, Demon King Piccolo shouted, exploding himself and Kid Buu, killing them both in a very Majin Vegeta-esque way. Fat Buu shielded his eyes as the brilliant light engulfed Kid Buu and Demon King Piccolo. With that, the threat of Majin Buu had been vanquished with the sacrifice of Demon King Piccolo. However, an egg had survived, and from it came out the little baby Piccolo, who Goku said he would raise. Well, not really raise, but look after. And of course, somewhere far away in a village, a child was born by the name of Oob. Yep, the sequel What If you made it to the end of this video, comment down below, what if Oob was in Dragon Ball early? That is the purpose of this What If, to set up the next part in which we will cover the Android saga, but more importantly, we will cover the entire rest of the story with Oob. What if Oob was born early? If you would like to see the sequel part, or I guess we'll just call it a part 2, where I cover the entire life and story of Oob, please do let me know in the comments and get this video to 100 likes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. I've been Able's Monkey, and I'll see you all laters.